2 decades also as chairman of Claremont McKenna College of Gould for Humanities and a Pulitzer Prize winner, and 5 years as a board member for People for the American Way. So quite a duo here. Again, music is medicine for the mind, and I'm going to turn it over to Carol. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, everybody. What a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation. And the story is very touching. As you can see, my darling late husband, Erwin Rosenstein, was given a birthday present at 70 years of age of Parkinson's. And of course, with my background in healthcare and knowing very little about Parkinson's, I immediately said, oh my God. Closer? Okay, thank you. Okay, how about this? How about this? How about this? Okay. So we struggled for 10 years with medications for Parkinson's. And the key neurotransmitter for a condition that is a movement disorder, and that is Parkinson's, the neurotransmitter of choice is dopamine, and that was one of his prime pills that he was taking multiple times a day. After 10 years of kind of moving along and dealing with life as best we could, to include some wonderful play days with our darling friends, Arlene and Jerry Davis, who held our hands during this difficult time. And we would have play days about once a month until Erwin couldn't keep going. But back to the meds. Erwin came to me one day and he said, Carol, I've got a problem. There are hundreds of people living in our house, and they're all wanting me to do things, and I'm beside myself. And I said, Erwin, we'll have to speak to Dr. Jeff Bronstein, our neurologist, to check in. And Jeff said, oops, your brain is on overload with 10 years of Cinemet. We're going to have to reduce the dose. Well, that was like pulling the rug out from under Erwin. But I would see something so magical as he was engaged in playing our piano in the house. He would start out like a wilted flower, a wet noodle slumped over the keys. And then in about 10 minutes, he would resurrect. He would reintegrate into the environment, like I'd given him a dose of pills. So I went to the phone and I spoke to Jeff Bronstein and I said, this is what my clinical eye is telling me what's going on. And Jeff said, you're watching the power of music changing brain chemistry. What? This is magic. And I said, does that mean that we can find some like-minded souls suffering from these diagnoses and have jam sessions together and all get happy and high on music? And he said, why not? And so we called for a launch. 30 people showed up to Wynwood School, private school in Culver City. And in about 10 or 15 minutes of 30 strangers meeting for the very first time. 4 souls came out of the crowd. One gravitated to the Steinway piano, another one to a drum kit next to the piano. Erwin grabbed a saxophone from an inventory wall of instruments for the kids to grab an instrument of their choice. And Sam threw back his blazer jacket and pulled out a harmonica. And in 15 minutes, these 4 souls, some with Parkinson's, some with Alzheimer's, were bonded brothers because of the music. That's the story which continues to grow. I got a call recently from the National Ad Council, a national organization, to say, we've selected you to fly to New York City to a gala black tie event to honor you for your work that you're doing for people with neurodegenerative diseases. It's not, Jerry, I need you. I'm pushing the top button to activate the video. No? Activate the video. It's embedded in there. John's doing that. Some 15 years ago, my darling husband, Owen, was given an early Parkinson diagnosis. Bringing the music into our lives and into the lives of others helped to turn darkness into day. Mends Minds is a global nonprofit serving seniors who have neurodegenerative issues using a new language called music. To play a musical instrument is like a full body workout for the brain. Can I go? Could you hear anything of the video? So yes, can we go back and play it? Because, and is there a technical guy on campus that could help us? I hate for our guests to miss anything. Some 15 years ago, my darling husband, Erwin, was given an early Parkinson diagnosis. Bringing the music into our lives and into the lives of others helped to turn darkness into day. Mends Minds is a global nonprofit serving seniors who have neurodegenerative issues using a new language called music. To play a musical instrument is like a full body workout for the brain. We had over 20 bands pre-pandemic. People who were having difficulty speaking suddenly were speaking because they had been singing seconds before. It was phenomenal. COVID closed all of those opportunities down. It was a very dark hour. then the music therapist said to me, Carol, there's something called Zoom. Good morning. Today is such a special day. Yeah, and what a gift, bringing joy right into our homes in isolation.
It just does something in your brain. And Sam remembers enormous amount of music. And it brings you back to a happier time, of course.
Mwah. Beautiful. My darling husband, Erwin, passed about 9 months ago from COVID. At that time, he was bedridden, unresponsive, but when I was singing, he was hearing, he was feeling, and he was responding. It's like a rebirth. You found magic to be able to get through the darkness. With more people getting vaccinated, we're starting to see bands ignite again.
There's nothing like being together and hearing the voices in person. It's exhilarating.
More so now than ever, we all need each other together. It's about the music, it's about the magic of music, it's about the medicine that music is. We are on to something great. Could you hear a little? And I have good news because Jerry is going to receive this afternoon a post-presentation package that he will put online and send to your emails, personally, your inbox, so you can sit at home and enjoy what you're missing today. That makes me feel better. And I'm clicking and it's not advancing. Somebody's going to need to control it from the actual computer for me, please, Jerry. It's up together. It's about the music. We are on to. There we go. Thank you. If you can stay close. I'm going to advance it by one. Yep. We're good. Okay. And somebody's coming to increase the volume. Do I see help on the way? Thank you. The audio, the audios are just not loud enough. So we need to increase the volume. Thank you so much. So I mentioned dopamine. And I'm really blessed to be working with several neuroscientist students on campus. They're my workforce, helping to drive Music Mends Minds uphill. And they research the body of music in the scientific community for me. And it's not only dopamine, but there are other neurotransmitters involved in the story. And what I can tell you, we all know about Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS. We know about showing up with a prescription, standing in a long line, waiting, and to pick up your prescription to go home so you can follow the regimen. But the act of music making calls pharmacists in our brain to attention, and they're on duty 24/7. And in the act of music making, the demand on the brain is so great that our internal pharmacies are called to attention, and the chemicals called neurotransmitters by these names flush into the bloodstream automatically. Now, isn't that a miracle? And it's on that basis that this magical story of music is based. So, there's a gradation. You can sit and hum, or tap, or clap. Then you can start to sing, or you can pick up an instrument, like playing a piano, as Erwin was doing, with the pedals going, with the fingering going, with the ears engaged for harmonics. And if you read music, then the eyes are busy. You're making the highest demand on your brain at that moment, which brings in the full team of pharmacists to release all of these neurotransmitters into your brain. And what happens? Well, depending on the function of these neurotransmitters, dopamine is a happy chemical. It also is important for movement so that there's balance involved, there's speech involved, there's all kinds of brain functions that dopamine is responsible for, even executive functioning. Oxytocin is a cuddle chemical, and we know that when we're cuddling with someone and we're listening to music, that's when the cuddle hormone, oxytocin, is released. And that even lowers your blood pressure. Serotonin increases learning, memory, and happiness. We know endorphins are a natural analgesic increased by music listening, and today even surgeries are performed with music in operating rooms so that patients can relax and enjoy the secretion of these neurotransmitters. And of course, cortisol reduces stress. Then we've got another magical issue going on here. It's called music storage cells. When a fetus is in utero at 6 months gestation, we've heard the story about a mother singing to her unborn child. We all know that story. At 6 months of age, the music storage cells start proliferating, and the fetus starts retaining the music that mom plays or sings. And then actually, when it's full term and in the nursery, that newborn reacts to the music that it heard in utero. So between our pharmacies in our brains, at the ready to release chemicals during the phases of music, and this gift of music storage cells that are proliferating at 6 months of age, you got it made. And this is where we remember, as in Alzheimer's, you see an Alzheimer patient respond to music, and from possibly being aphasic, they come alive, they start to sing, they remember the lyrics, they remember the music, they remember who they were with. And it's because of the magic of these music storage cells. And music is the last thing we forget. Now, something that I've just uncovered in the research myself, the second to last, it says music storage cells are spared in Alzheimer's disease. Isn't that a gift? And can reduce brain atrophy. Wow, that's really very, very big. And that's why music is medicine for the mind. Music changes brain chemistry. Music brings increased brain function. And music brings pure joy back to our people who are in the darkness with these neurodegenerative diagnoses. And we literally turn their lights on, and we're able to turn night into day. So I told you about the Fifth Dementia Band. Well, I maybe didn't even tell you the name. I told you about the setting of these 4 people in Wynwood School Music Studio starting to jam. And that was the night that we birthed the Fifth Dementia Band. And that Fifth Dementia Band took us, you can see 1 year later in 2015, a whole bunch, more than 4 seniors who started a year prior. And you can see Sam on the right side, our harmonica player. He was a history professor who did his life teaching and talking. And here he had frontal lobe dementia and was aphasic. And when you met Sam and you engaged him in conversation, what did he do? He took out his harmonica and he played a song in answer to the question you'd asked him, because he was incapable of doing more than that because of his disease. Gloria, I see you just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Here we have COVID. Oh my gosh. And that took Music Mends Minds from in person onto Zoom. And we Zoomed around the world and continued to grow for 3 years while on Zoom with a board-certified music therapist, engaging our patients, caregivers, and families, and bringing music to them while we were all safely tucked up in our homes in isolation. And I got a happy call in 2018 from CNN Heroes saying that I had been nominated to be one of their heroes. And they sent out a troupe, a crew to film us. And in 2020, they sent out another crew to film us on Zoom. So even CNN Heroes liked our story. This has a little video attached. If somebody can activate the video for me. So here we are, post-COVID. We're back in person. The Fifth Dementia Band is growing once again. Thank you, Jerry. And this is a little snippet of our Valentine's Day concert that happened just a few weeks ago. And of course, we're a revolving door. And during the CNN Heroes period and the Zoom period, now that we're back in person, most of our people have passed on. And so we're a revolving door waiting for new people to be referred to our Fifth Dementia Band. From caseworkers, from physicians, we're connected to both hospitals, St. John's and UCLA. Okay, you can cut it off. Thank you so much. And let me tell you, this was just how many weeks ago? And our happy whistler, Dr. Ron Siegel, has died. And I was at his shiva 2 weeks ago. And our harmonica player has died 1 week prior to Ron. So now you get it. Please send people. Come yourselves. Music is prevention for our brains. It was on the list of your prior speaker. Music is prevention and will keep you going longer, just like exercise. Thank you so much. So we're big into drum circles. And drum circles, it's okay. I think this is not a video, but we're good for the moment. A drum circle, it actually appeals to more people because they don't have to know how to play a musical instrument and they don't have to know how to sing. Excuse me. But we know it's primal. We're all connected by the vibration of music. And so we're able to have instruments as we all sit round in a circle, djembe drums, castanets, tambourines, shakers, and we all are on cue as a drum circle facilitator engages us in rhythm. And what we see, people in wheelchairs get so uplifted that they wheel their wheelchairs into the center of the ring and they're busy dancing in their wheelchairs. Some of them want to get out and dance and the caregivers grab them so that there's no falling. But we have 8 new drum circles across 3 states in New Jersey now that are up and running. And we have local drum circles as well. We have 8 in-person groups in the city at this time. And we've taken the liberty, and I really didn't introduce John Kander, my co-executive director here sitting with me. Sorry, John, I ignored you. But we have 8 groups in the city. What I've done is on your front table, I have little flyers in frames that you can use your phone to take a picture of some of our bands. We have a Jazzanova jazz band that's up the road on Moore Park in Woodsit. And they're having a big concert on June the 4th. It's a Sunday night, and everybody is welcome. And so this is information that I'll send in the post-presentation package for you as well. I don't want you to miss anything. Oh, we're going to see some drum circle. So I am a Rotarian. How many people here, hands up, who know about Rotary International? Woohoo! I'm a Rotarian, and Rotary International honored Music Mends Minds and wrote a 7-page story in the May edition of the Rotary magazine that shows up every month. I heard the mail drop through my front door slot. I went to pick up the mail. Oh my God, I was looking at myself. What are you doing down there? And they actually put me on the cover. And this gives us boots on the ground to 1.2 million Rotarians in 135,000 clubs in over 200 countries. And that's how Music Mends Minds is going global with our friends, Rotary International Clubs. And those of you in our audience or on Zoom, hi there to all of you at home. If you know a Rotarian in your environment, tell them about Music Mends Minds, because it is a perfect club project going through the club into the environment as a senior music event where seniors can come to a location. Maybe there's a drum circle facilitator, maybe a board-certified music therapist, or even a band leader, like the Fifth Dementia Band. The seniors, we all need the music, and those with our neurodegenerative diagnoses need it more than life itself. So, now John Kander opened the door to the County of Los Angeles. Now, the county, being as progressive as they are, recognize that every 3 seconds, listen to me, every 3 seconds, we are targets for getting a diagnosis of dementia. Every 65 seconds, somebody, a diagnosis of Alzheimer's. And every 5 minutes, a diagnosis of Parkinson's. Yes, all of us sitting here may get that news one of these days, unless we really check in with our lifestyle, as our former speaker was addressing, or go get the music. And so our County of Los Angeles has designated 9 zones around the county, called dementia-friendly cities. And they are targeting seniors in this environment to help them with extra services, including music. And we are now setting up 2 pilot studies with researchers from UCLA, USC, and even one from NYU. And we're going to be looking at what the story is about the music. And once the pilot studies are completed, the county has asked Music Mends Minds to start an in-person music group in every one of the senior centers county-wide. I mean, we are here to deliver the goods to help us all maintain the quality of our lives. Now, this is a video, and I'm not sure why David is not shown there. That's bizarre, because he was embedded in that video. Thank you, Jerry. And this is a Parkinson patient.
Hello, my name is Laura Fonseca.
Watch how he reacts to the music therapist. Listen.
Hello, my name is Laura Fonseca. I am a board-certified music therapist. I work for a great organization called Melly Music that partners with Music Mends Minds to bring this incredible programming. So, can you give me like a little summary of how your morning was, like what you ate for breakfast, let's say?
I got up early, went downstairs, and I had coffee. My day being that way. That's usually how I and Beethoven, yeah, and on the stereo. So I like classical music in the morning. I like coffee. I like a piece of quiet. That's my morning right there. Yeah.
Thank you. So now we're gonna do a little rhythmic. It's called rhythmic priming. So basically, our brain naturally kind of syncs to rhythm.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, like if you start clapping a beat by like the second, sometimes second for a musician, but most people like third or fourth beat, they can join into the pattern. They don't have to, yeah, exactly. They can get into the pattern. So what I'm going to do first is just have you listen to some tapping. The point is that I'm wanting you to just kind of listen in and focus in on the rhythm. And then if you focus in, I'll let you know when you can join in tapping.
Yeah.
So first we're going to prime your brain to get acclimated to the tempo.
Yeah.
And then move from there. So the first thing I want you to do is just kind of try to sync your breath to it. All right, so now I might add one more thing. I want you to tell me again what you had for breakfast, but keep the tapping.
Okay. I had fish and white sticky rice, and a cat was on the table, and the music was playing, and
The rhythm.
and Beethoven was on the stereo, and I was having a good time.
That's the magic of rhythm. And that's why the drum circles are so big, because it resets the timing in all of our brains to even increase executive functioning so that we are able to cope with the aging process better. And now, my last slide before we hear from John happened last Thursday. A new patient was referred to the Fifth Dementia Band. We practice on Thursdays at the Brentwood Presbyterian Church. So in walks a new patient with a caregiver. I welcome John and the caregiver. Do you play a musical instrument, John? The caregiver answers for him. He used to play trombone. He can't anymore. And he used to play in a big band, and they said he couldn't play with them also because he was losing his ability due to his Alzheimer's galloping. And I said to the caregiver, next week, bring his trombone. She said, he can't play anymore. And I got firm. I said, bring his trombone. So John walks in the next week carrying his trombone case. Take it out, John. Come and sit on the stage with us. He does as I request. He played around on his trombone for 3 sessions. 3 sessions. This was his 4th session. And I want to tell you, this is like opening up a coffin lid and the deceased stepping out to say, "Hello, world. I'm not done yet. I'm back because of my music memory storage cells that never die. And I am here with joy in my heart and capable to still play my trombone." This happened last Thursday. There's John.
Keep going. We're gonna hear a trombone solo. Here with me, let's go. Give it up for John. Everyone together now. 1, 2, 3.
I rest my case. It's this startling. I see this every day. I've seen this for 9 years. We need your help. If you know anybody that would like to join one of our in-person groups, from drum circles, sing-alongs, or full bands, you've got the Jazzanovas right up the road from here. And here's a rhetorical question. How about starting your own Valley Beth Shalom music group? We will help you all, and this can be an offering of this synagogue to all of their seniors. Even the juniors come and play, because we engaged the juniors, because music skills fall away. Not music, language skills fall away, and music becomes the language.
Who come up to me. They actually wheel the wheelchair up to me and take both my hands. people who I've got to hold every hand before I can leave the facility. I've seen them sing. I've seen them start out without any expression, and then they're singing and beating to time, and the love that is pouring. Even the dog comes and sits under my chair. I have photographs of all of it. It's fabulous.
You are hired. That was a public service announcement. And thank you for the time. My landsman right here, but I'm from Springs. I'm not sure where you are. And I live in Westwood. So we need to say hello. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for that response. I will be brief. I just want to sum up a little bit and get a little bit more while we're here. I want also to tell you in the fifth dementia band, the drummer is 85, Parkinson's patient. The piano player is 85, lost his wife to Alzheimer's, and this means the world to him. He's featured in a Spectrum News story you might have seen recently, Rudy. He also used to be on Broadway and an actor in soap operas, and this is the greatest thing that ever happened to him. And the last thing you should know is that the trombonist is a 3-year retired fire chief in LA County. A macho guy, a guy that's used to being able to control things around him, and he had lost his mojo, and now he's got it back. Like you, I've been inspired by Carol's story and what she did. When I first was brought and saw Mends Minds, my wife, who's a psychologist, working with dementia and Alzheimer's patients, took one of her clients there and called me. She said, I don't know where the hell you are in town, but you have to be here. You won't believe this. And I did. I came and I cried. It's amazing. Another thing that's inspired me this year, you all know who Jamie Raskin is, the congressman from Maryland. He led the second impeachment. He also lost his absolutely beautiful golden child, 21-year-old son, to suicide. And if that wasn't enough, he got a diagnosis of cancer. He's still out there plugging. He said his father used to tell him something that keeps him going. Father said, you know, when you look around and you don't see any hope, you're the hope. That's what Carol did. That's what this is about. So inspirational and heroic acts like this often are born out of tragedy. And as you've heard today, Mends Minds is one of those things. There are 6.5 million Alzheimer's patients in the United States. Carol said, a new dementia diagnosis every 3 seconds. Here's something more scary. 40 million of us will get this diagnosis sometime in our life. You know people that have it. You know people whose lives have been just shut down. Well, with music, they don't have to be. It's amazing how it changes brain chemistry. It's amazing how it resonates throughout the whole house and the whole family, to caregivers too, and buoys them. Music reduces stress and depression in the person, in the patient, and the caregiver, and the family. All of a sudden, you're not required to take so many medications, which means you're not going to have as many overdoses. The house is going to be a lot less chaotic, and all of a sudden, you're not calling the EMTs. You're not going to the emergency room. You know who benefits? Your community. They're saving billions of dollars. And your insurance company. You all know what Silver Sneakers is, don't you? Your insurance company says, I'll pay for your gym membership, and you can watch 24/7 Zoom and yoga classes and anything you want. And aren't we terrific because we're giving this to you free? They're making out like bandits because you're not requiring payouts for them. Music is the same thing. We have a goal. Beyond engaging our community in music and saving seniors and families, it is to make this a public health initiative, supported by the insurance companies, supported by the cities and the communities, so that you raise the level of health in your life. We're on the way to doing it. We're also involved in a thing called the Sound Health Network, which is the epicenter of research in all of this. You see this thing, this is an economic impact report that KPMG put together for the Sound Health Network, for Johns Hopkins, and for the Aspen Institute. Sound Health Network is the National Institute of Health, coupled with the National Endowment of the Arts, coupled with Kennedy Center, and coupled with Renee Fleming's foundation, the opera singer. He's got a foundation called Music in the Mind. He's the one that helped us get in the middle of this incredible research initiative. We have huge plans. Carol told you that we are now working with the County of Los Angeles to go into senior centers all over the city. Diverse areas of Los Angeles. We're going into Filipino Town in Echo Park. We're going into Inglewood. Hopefully one of the choir directors of the First AME Church will be involved in doing it. The music in Filipino Town is different from the music in Inglewood, which is different from the music in Koreatown at the Annenberg Gen Space. All of these cultures have rhythm in their DNA, different, and all of them are playing this out. At Gen Space, we have a man who was so excited he brought his 101-year-old mother. But then I started to reassess. I'm not sure, I think she may be the one that brought him. It's sold out. It's what I mean by that, there's a waiting list every week. It can't be sold out because you know what? We give it away for free. We'll always give it away for free, which is why we need your help. We're talking to individuals, we're talking to organizations like Hazak that care about their communities. We have a matching grant opportunity from a fabulous Jewish organization in in the East that's given us a $10,000 matching grant. And if we can do it, anybody who helps us with that, your donation means twice as much. It has twice as much power. Here's a secret they don't know about yet. If we get more than that, we'll go back to them and say, you know what, we've proved ourselves, why don't we do some more of this? We're working with foundations around the country. We're working with cities and counties around California so that we can bring music for free to the people who need it most. It's not just those that already have dementia issues, it's preventative. If we take this argument and extend it to the end of the line, we'd say, teach music more powerfully in grade school so kids can start building up the armor against aging and mental decline so they can handle it better. I mean, these are obvious things. So, and see, where we go. So I can cut to the chase. It's been an honor talking to you today and watching you respond to our story. It is every time I do it. I get tears in my eyes just like the first time when I witnessed it. You watch the people enjoy themselves and then they watch their loved ones and their caregivers. Watch them enjoy themselves. And you see what the power of music really is. You guys get it. You're here. You're in this organization because you want to understand about your world. You want to make life better for your community. In other words, you're the hope. So go to our website and check out the many emotional and eye-opening videos that we have and the research that's organized on there. And come join us for drum circles or sing-alongs. We have a sing-along in Beverly Hills on Tuesdays, run by an ex-rocker who used to tour with bands in the 60s and 70s, and it's fabulous. We have a jazz band. We're starting one at the VA in West LA. We're about to be in Echo Park. We're about to be in Inglewood. We're about to be probably in Calabasas. We're in New Jersey. We're in Rwanda Bulgaria, Argentina, India, Canada, and England with affiliations. Thank you, Rotary. That's exactly what we want. You be in touch. I'll give you a card. I'm sure Carol has. We would follow that up in a heartbeat. And we are very, very grateful for you inviting us today and allowing us to tell you our story and to share in it and to understand what it means. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. On behalf of our Hazak program, I do recommend going to the website. They have a lot of videos and stories there about what they're accomplishing, and you see firsthand the change it makes in people. I'll just echo what Carol said. She has some little flyers out in the front. You can take pictures of them and get more information. She's going to send me an email with a presentation, and I'll share it. We'll put it on the website, bbs.org/Hazak, so everybody can see it. Yes.